this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to The Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salizar coven. We are picking up in a new restaurant that the Queen has established in honor of her broodmother, Lady Lucille Bennett. And this is where the Queen has announced, to everyone's surprise, the engagement of her daughter, her second daughter, Princess Juno, and the scholar's son, so Lady Elaine Dragon's son, Lord Jakob Dragon. So, how did we get here? We must know this. We, in the previous episode, saw that Elaine approached the Queen and they made an agreement to arrange the marriage for these two. And what ended up happening in the mini-movie? Well, we were aware of the fact that there were only 3 people who had knowledge of this secret engagement. It was the Queen, it was Elaine, and it was Jakob himself. So at the beginning of the mini-movie, Jakob took Juno aside and he told Juno there was something important he had to tell her, and he said their mothers have arranged their marriage. He expects they'll be engaged pretty soon. And Juno was kind of disbelieving at first. I feel like in her mind, she probably did not expect to be thrown in the same bucket as Kyra and have a marriage forced on her. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of the coven members have been largely unaware of what Kyra, behind the scenes, had to go through, because we know that the Queen told Kyra about her arranged marriage, in private. It wasn't a huge announcement with everyone there. It was kind of in private, and Kyra had to accept it, and obviously because it was something that happened in private, people don't necessarily know what words were exchanged or in what context this marriage was made, on a personal level. So even as far as Juno goes, she might actually have been unaware of how against it Kyra was and how little choice she had. So she just assumed that that sort of thing wouldn't happen to her, or maybe she thought that the Queen had discussed it with Kyra prior to making that arrangement. Nobody really knows, the details of how it went down, and it's not like Kyra went around bragging that she has no choice but to go along with this. So, yeah, Juno, she was disbelieving, and then she kind of, I feel realized that Lady Elaine is involved, and even if the Queen wasn't someone to do it behind her back, Elaine is definitely a manipulative character, and for her to do something like this makes complete sense. So then she kind of wanted to throw up, and she asked Jakob if he's okay with this, and Jakob said, "No, Your Highness, I'm not." So yeah, we're kind of aware of the fact that he has a thing for Diana. He's very attracted to Princess Diana, but obviously his mother said, "She is not part of the plans I have for you, so cut it off with her," and he kind of did that. And then not long after, his mother, when he thought things were dying down, his mother went ahead with this arranged relationship, this arranged marriage with Juno. And then we jumped to the scene of all the coven members gathered in, I think this is called Lucille Farm and Table, I think. I feel as though this is the name of the restaurant that we have, and I will put the creator on screen so you guys can download this lot off the gallery and play it in your own games. But yeah, so we had the engagement. The Queen just, she, remember guys, she's not consulting or even telling Juno about this engagement before she's making the announcement. She kind of just told everyone there was something important that had to be said. And everyone, they got dressed in their formal wear, they went to this venue, and then the Queen's just announced it. The only reason Juno knows about this is because Jakob has told her before everyone got here. But I think a part of her was kind of holding back and expecting maybe it not to be the case, right? Obviously, she would like to think over the years she's gotten a bit closer to her mother. But again, I feel like this is a bit naive of Juno. Maybe she doesn't realize her mother throughout her life has been the closest to Kyra, and she still did that to Kyra. So really, how safe is Juno, you know? But okay, guys, let us dive on in. Now, obviously, she made this announcement in the mini-movie, and the queen said that Jakob and Juno would be married, and this will, you know, unite the Salizar bloodlines, because the dragons are a cadet branch of the Salazars, and, you know, the people will rejoice once they hear about this, and, like, as she's sure, the dragons are rejoicing. And I feel like Jakob was put on the spot there, and obviously he's not going to, he's under his mother's thumb, more or less. He's not gonna, you know, stand up against this or complain about it, especially to the queen's face. And he was like, yeah, we're overjoyed. But Juno knows he's not, because he's told Juno that he's not happy about it at all. And Juno, you know, she was kind of saying under her breath, like, I want to throw up, but she put a fake smile on her face, and she looked at the crowd, and, you know, her mother was like, oh, I'll leave you two to talk, which, is such a sad move on her part. But, okay, guys, let us dive on in and see what's going on with our Simmies. So, Jakob and Juno, at this point, they are engaged. Hold on a second. Where'd she go? Right, so they are, in fact, engaged, as you can see. So that arrangement has been made between their families. Okay, I think I've got autonomy on at this point. I do. Okay, so let's check out the venue, actually. Let us check out the venue. Look at this place, guys. Isn't it just pretty? Look at this. It's a restaurant. It's got like a farm on one side. And it's got like these really cool like picnic tables off on this side. The inside is all like black and white, but it just like looks really good. Hold on. So you come in here, you've got some tables, you've got a kitchen, and then you've got like ladders that go up to the, I assume this would have been like the attic area, but you have like a bar and bathrooms, which is really, really cool. Looks really nice, but this is kind of the place where the queens decided to hold their engagement. Catalea's in her wedding dress, the queen's in her wedding dress, so is Kyra. It's actually so nice to see Kyra in her wedding dress. She looks so pretty. So pretty. But okay, we want to definitely invite over, hold on a second, we want to invite over Mordred. I feel like you should be participating in something like this. But guys, stuff has gone down since the previous episode. Like, stuff has gone down. Remember how we were trying, like, so hard to flippin' get Eve that first kiss she wanted with Catalea, but we were, like, trying to dodge the queen, because the queen was, like, so obsessed with Catalea, and she kept trying to kiss her. Yeah, and then right at the end, I think we managed to take them to the alchemy lab, and they had their first kiss there, and everything was like clear. But guys, as soon as I hit cut, like as soon as I finished recording the episode, you will not guess, maybe you will, Queen Eden walked in on them, and she like took Catalea into a kiss, and then like right in front of Eden, like Eve's face. And so, like, you know, Eden and Catalea got into a kiss right in front of Eve's face, and Eve just, in like a split moment, exploded with frustration and anger. And the queen, she kind of pulled back, and she was considering, like, oh, why is Eve here? And then she kind of realized in the, like, how close in proximity Eve and Catalea were. And then she, like, I imagine in my mind she would have seen, like, maybe, like, Catalea's lipstick, you know, on Eve, and then they would have, like, she would have realized what was going on, and I think, guys, the queen at this point, she knows of their affair, which is so scary, but I think she's just confused. Like, right now, she doesn't exactly know what to do, because I feel like personally Eden is a bit of a pushover, and when it comes to like really important decisions, there's always someone prodding her and telling her what to do. Think about it, guys. Like, since the beginning, we've had Guinevere giving her direction and telling her what to do. And then she, started exercising her own control, so to speak. But then, not long after, Catalea came in and got involved, and Catalea started kind of pushing her around and telling her what to do. So she's never really done stuff of her own initiative, I feel. Her breaking away from Guinevere was... I feel as though that was just a show. That was just what... Like, that it was something that she thought she could do and she thought she was doing, but in actuality it just ended up being a show, because most of the decisions she's made has been upon someone else's pushing and prodding. So yeah, she knows, but she's unclear about what to do. I think she's just in like shock at this point, and she's trying to work out like who deserves punishment, If you look at her relationship with Catalea, she is betrayed by her cheating, but they're still lovers, and they're still married. So the queen is obviously still enraptured with Catalea, and I think that's just adding to her confusion. She's not entirely sure what to do. Whereas you look at Eve's relationship with Catalea, like romantically, is in the red. It's very complicated. She doesn't have a sentiment, but it's very complicated. And you can see here she's very angry. She's very angry from unfaithful love and, being cheated on. But really, she got into a relationship with Catalea knowing she was his stepmother. We know this. We are aware of this, as is she. The reason she's angry, guys, is because Eve, this whole time, she's been thinking that she's the one who's pulling the strings and playing Catalea. But I think in that moment in the alchemy lab, when, after their first kiss, when the queen came in and, Catalea kind of fell into the queen's arms, I think Eve realized how precarious of a situation she was in, like she was put in by Catalea. And she realized that Catalea is the one who's been playing both her and Queen Eden. And she doesn't like that. It's like an imbalance of power. She doesn't like it, and she's very angry because she realized that all of a sudden. She thought by giving Catalea more liberty with herself physically, through the first kiss and stuff, she was getting a bit of power over Catalea. But she didn't realize that Catalea's gone the whole mile. She's, done everything there is to do. And, she's not the one being used. She is the one using. So, she's not happy. She is not happy. So, we'll have to see what happens between, them in the future, but for now, the queen also had other things on her mind. She recently made this agreement with Elaine, and she was quite determined to make the engagement announcement, and for her that was kind of more important than dealing with Catalea. I also feel like a part of her is trying to push this incident to the back of her mind. She's trying to make excuses not to have to deal with it, because she knows it's a terrible, terrible thing. It's not something that can be unpunished and overlooked, but at the same time, she wants to delay that process as long as possible because she doesn't want to have to deal with it. So, this is kind of interesting. I like that she was talking to Elaine, and now she's coming here and she's, talking to Jakob. So, that's really good. That's really good. But let's go ahead, and why don't we talk about what happened in the Insta posts. So there were 3 Insta posts that were made after the previous episode, after the scandal. The scandal was not included, of course, but the Insta posts, they kind of led up to the scene we saw in the mini-movie of this episode. I will leave the links, as usual, in the description below to the Insta posts and also the free Patreon post, guys. If you don't have Insta, you can always check the Patreon link. They're public posts that I make for free, so you guys can get access to all of that if you don't have an Insta account or you just want to check on the interwebs? Okay, so where do we have, was it Diana? Yeah, so the first post was with Princess Diana and Juno. So Diana was talking to Juno, and she was telling Juno that Ice has, like, she's worried about Ice. And, like, she went of her own volition to Juno, and she said she's worried about Ice because their younger sister is not as enthusiastic about training as Diana expected her to be. And, you know, she feels like she's kind of falling behind. And Juno said, well, the training regime is probably very different to what she's used to. Maybe she just needs some time to, like, get used to everything. I'm sure you guys can, like, sort yourself out. And then Diana pretty much said, you know, I expect her to be a bit more hands-on and seeking me out for training more. And I don't want to fall behind on my progress, you know, trying to keep up with Kyra. And please, can you speak to her when you have time? Diana, we know. So why did she go to Juno? We know some of the others have been, like Delphi and stuff, have been telling Ice herself to go talk to Juno because Juno will understand what she's going through. That's not necessarily Diana's take. Diana approached Juno because, if we remember, ever since her childhood, Diana has been very close to Kyra and Juno, right? They kind of always had her, they kind of adored her and had her on their side. And what are they doing? I'm so confused. And I feel like Diana, she probably doesn't want to bother Kyra with this kind of thing because she feels like Kyra is an important person with important things to do and she'll probably be, you know, busy training, so she doesn't want to bother her. The other sister, like the next sister, closest sister that she has is Juno. She doesn't care about bothering Juno. And that's why she's gone to her and asked her maybe to speak to the younger sister. So yeah, that's one thing that happened. And then the next post was between Delphi and Lucille, but we were kind of catching up with Lucille. So Delphi and Lucille were getting a little bit flirtatious with each other. They're sitting like really close by, and Lucille was asking Delphi, like, what's going on between you and Juno? Is it something like official? Is it something for me to be wary of? And Delphi said, well, not really. We do kind of, like, I like her company and I like talking to her, but I don't think there's anything serious happening there. Like, I'm not ready to get into anything like that just yet. Obviously, because we know she's in love with Eve, but she's not going to tell everyone that. I feel like it wouldn't be a problem from other people's perspective because they're not exactly related. So it wouldn't exactly be a problem if she did say that. But and nobody really knows about the thing she had with George except for Eve. But I think if she did say it publicly, she hasn't confessed to Eve especially. It would just make it even more awkward. So anyways, she was saying that, you know, I'm not ready to get into a serious relationship of any sort, so there's nothing there to be concerned about. And then she asked, what about you and Lady Guinevere? And Lucille said that she does like Guinevere, but she does not think Guinevere is like opening her heart to her and ready. She, like, hasn't moved on from Lady Lagatha just yet, so there's really nothing going on there. And then she kind of said there's nothing for Delphi to be wary of either. So they kind of were flirting with each other because they're not exactly making headway with other people in their lives. And this was, I feel like, a bit of a casual flirt. And then the next post was checking in with, I think, Princess Juno and Delphi. And Princess Juno, she kind of saw that Lucille and Delphi were, like, really close to each other and talking. So then she walked up to Delphi and she said, what were you guys talking about? Like, you look really cozy. And Delphi said, oh, this and that, nothing too important. And I like her company. And I feel like Juno was a little bit concerned and jilted by that because she was actually pursuing something, like she was starting something with Delphi. And in that moment, Jakob came and Jakob was like, Juno, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I have something really important to tell you. It's urgent. And that obviously led to what we saw in the mini movie. And even in the first post where Diana and Juno are talking, Jacob's like sitting on the couch like with a really sad expression watching them talk and is obviously trying to like intervene and get Juno's attention, but Juno was kind of moving from one conversation to the next and then he had to interrupt the one she was having with Delphi. But that's kind of what happened. But okay, wait, let's see. Where do we have our simmies? Okay. It's a little bit, it's complicated, isn't it? It is very complicated. I was just reading, like, some of the comments, I think last night on the previous episode, and it was blowing my mind how in-depth we have gotten with the characters this season, especially, like, the princesses. I think they're the most developed characters we've had across the entire series, just on the merit of how many things have happened. It is crazy. It is crazy. Okay, Ice, the friends ones, I've said this before, are stuff I'll work on in the background off camera, because that just takes a lot of time and effort. But let's see, friendly with Princess Eve. Okay, Ice wants to be friendly with Eve. That is very on brand. So let's go ahead and be friendly, have a deep conversation with Eve. Let's go ahead and do that. But guys, I am very nervous and very afraid for the current, I'm very, very afraid and nervous for the current state of the coven. Because just look at the relationships people have going on. Like the whole thing, the Queen's marriage, it's scary with Catalea. The incident they've been caught in is scary, like a princess is involved. It is wild. Okay, Eden. Why don't we actually request a table for everyone? Let's go and request a table, get people to start eating. And then we can do their interactions while working on that. Look, now the Queen's flirting with Lucille. Like, oh my goodness. Some of these, we do have some very fascinating relationships going on. I won't lie. And yes, I was kind of vying for Lucille and Guinevere. But it does feel like, even though Lucille genuinely likes Guinevere a lot, Lucille is also, I feel like, a very flirtatious character. And the thing is, she is failing to get Guinevere's attention. Guinevere hasn't really moved on from Lagatha. So she probably doesn't feel like they're making any progress. And she's not exactly the type of person to wait around. I feel like that's probably what's going on. That's the vibe I'm getting. Okay, Kyra, let's go request a table. Okay, the Queen's sitting and eating. Kyra, go request a table, come on. Come on. You guys don't need to be out here playing. Let's go sit down. Okay, Queenie, I should probably order. I got them to sit down and I forgot to order the food. My bad. My bad. Okay. Oh, lemonade sounds good. Let's just give everyone lemonades. And I'm actually realizing they can't eat, can they? And we don't exactly have vampire-friendly food. Darn it. I completely overlooked that they can't eat. Well, that's not nice. They're just gonna have to get drinks because they cannot eat. So that's fine. Everyone will just get lemonades. Kyra, let's sit down. Outside? No. No. Are you trying to kill us? We're vampires. What is wrong with you? Give up the table, Kyra. Give up the table. Come on, woman, give up the table. Like, you and your sister, sure, can, like, be out in the sun. You're immune. But you are going to kill Jacob at this rate. Maybe that's their plan. Maybe Juno's like, the only way out of this is to kill Jacob. I'm sorry, Jacob. I gotta think about myself. No. Let's not do sad things like that, okay? Okay, and then we'll get Eve to request this table so she can sit down with maybe her crew. Okay. Where is Eve? Where is she even? Where'd she go? What am I seeing? Ice? Ice, are you okay? Guys, Ice got electrocuted. Ice, what are you doing out here? Are you trying to get yourself killed? Why is everyone trying to get themselves killed? Why? Oh. She was like blending in, I think. Like the green and silver. I just could not see. Oh, no. I don't think we have showers or anything. That's unfortunate. Poor Ice. She's just gonna be like sizzling. Just casually sizzling. Okay, hold on a second. Your sister's gonna get a table. You can join her inside. And then everything will be fine. Fingers crossed. Okay, Kyra. Let's go ahead and order some drinks for everyone. I suppose Delphi can eat. But no, Delphi's rolling with the crew. So she has to just join in on the drinks. That's fine. Why don't we get some Cupid juice? Get some Cupid juice for everyone. And all. Yeah, Juno's sitting on a whole other table, but that's fine. I don't feel like she necessarily wants to be, like, right next to Jacob. She wants a bit of distance. Like, the whole situation is just putting her in puke mode. Okay, Eve. You're sitting down. Where are you going, Ice? Go sit with your sisters. What's happening? No, go sit with your sisters. What are you doing? What are you doing? And Diana, come sit with... Oh, that's not your table? Who does she roll with? Oh, you're with this group. You are with this group. Well, go inside. Go inside. I'm sorry that your table is, like, so small. It does not include... It's, like, not enough. But that's fine. You go inside. You know what? Can you go up to the bar? Come up to the bar. Yeah, you come up to the bar. Maybe you can just like make your favorite drink. Actually, come up here and make your favorite drink. You go do that. You go do that. And then we'll get Eve to order some drinks for these guys. Yeah, you can have Eve and her minions sitting close to each other. Okay, we'll get a Granny Smash for all of you lovelies. Wonderful, wonderful. If Diana doesn't have a table, then where does she go? Where does she go exactly? I'm confused. Okay, well that's fine. Honestly though, guys, so much was happening. My brain, it feels like a bit of a broken record, and like I'm stuttering and stuff because I don't realize, like, I don't know which direction I'm supposed to go in to explain what's happening. Like, there's too much. There's too much. There's no clear sequence of events, I feel. Everything's kind of happening all at once and with so many characters. What is she doing? What's happening? She's drinking from Delphi! Uncontrollably! Catalina knows she's been caught. She's enraged. She's enraged. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She's like destroyed her relationship with Eden. You know what? Everything was fine. Look, acquaintances. Everything was fine at the beginning. Because Eden didn't actually... She knew about the affair, but she felt obviously betrayed, but she didn't go off at Catalina. However, I do think the queen started taking liberties with Lucille. Because then the queen was thinking, well, I don't want to punish her right now, but I don't exactly want to get affectionate and physical with her like I normally do. She was a little bit put off. So she went to Lucille instead, and Catalea, who thought she was holding on, saw this, and she is just completely mad with anger at this point. Oh my goodness. This engagement is wild. This engagement is wild. And now she's like drinking from Delphi in rage. Like, yeah, she's rage-filled fury. She's just drinking from Delphi. Oh no. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Delphi. I'm so sorry. I feel like Delphi's really popular lately. Like, she's been involved in a lot, I feel. Both in the Insta posts and in the mini movies. It just feels like she's been doing a lot. Oh, Bloom left? Oh, I suppose they should really be at the academy. Okay then. Yeah, you guys get going. They are the youngest. I suppose you guys can get going. Fine then. Go to the academy. Where is she? Yeah, she's going? Okay, okay. You guys get going. We'll focus on some of the others. So Jakob, like, okay, he wants to become friends with Delphi. Give me something I can work with. Okay, Juno wants to be mischievous with Kyra. So we'll get her to do that. Let's see. Maybe not this. Maybe start a preposterous rumor. We'll go do that. We'll go do that. Yeah. I think Juno's feeling a little bit bitter right now. Just a little bit. So she is going to make a jab at Kyra and Mordred's relationship. Obviously this is not something she would normally do, but she's feeling a little bit upset. Maybe a part of her feels like Kyra could have warned her and she didn't, and she's a little bit annoyed by that because she's just a very intelligent vampiress, Juno is. And I feel like in her mind, this isn't a situation that she ever felt she would be caught in, and it feels just unfair for someone as brilliant as her to be reduced to a pawn. So, yeah, she's going to make a bit of a jab at Juno, which I feel like, Kyra, which I feel like Kyra's going to take pretty well. Because it's Kyra. And then Eve, look at her, she's like stomping and everything. Eve wants to be mean to Lady Catalea, guys. She had to go take some air. She was just so cheesed off. But yeah, she is going to be mean to Catalea. At this point, I feel like... Okay, so who knows? Who knows what's happening? Eve, Catalea knows. The Queen has recently found out. Delphi also knows about this incident. But I think nobody else does. It is just the four of them. Lucille had an inkling. And actually... She had an inkling. For sure. That, you know, Kyra kind of... Kyra, like, brushed off, remember? In one of the Insta posts. So, I wonder if a part of her flirting with the Queen is because of that. So maybe she is getting the sense that something actually was going on, which is why the Queen seems to not be too happy with Catalea right now. But Eve does not care. Eve is, like, so pissed off that Catalea has been playing the both of them that she is going to be mean to her, like, in front of everyone. And I feel like the rest of the coven members would be a little bit confused. They would kind of be like, why are they talking like that? She's gonna go insult her face. Let's go. Eve's gonna go insult her face. This is so messy. This is, like, so messy. But obviously it was going to be. This is why you don't do stuff like this. Okay, let's see. Oh, insulting her? Yep, okay, she's insulting her. And I also feel like Eve would have seen that Catalea drank from Delphi, and even though she's angry, angry is an extreme word. Even though she's annoyed at Delphi for slapping her, remember? For getting into a relationship with Catalea, Eve considers Delphi a follower of hers, and now that she's angry at Catalea, it's kind of like, how dare you touch a follower of mine or drink from a follower of mine? She's not yours to touch, you know? So that's kind of adding to her anger, I feel like. So much is happening! Okay, Lucille. Lucille wants to be friendly with Delphi. Maybe Lucille is gonna go, like, check up on Delphi to see if she's okay. What can we do? What can we do? Let's check in on Delphi. I feel like Lucille would have seen what went down and she would be a little bit concerned. I mean, she gives me crazy vibes. I don't know if I would welcome consent from Lucille, but I think she's just checking on Delphi to make sure that Delphi is okay. Because maybe even Lucille recognizes that at the end of the day, even if she is a physician, Delphi is a lady. She's actively serving on the court, so she's not someone who should be drunk from. But yeah, so she's checking in on her, which is very nice, I feel. And let's see, who else has something interesting going on? Okay, Delphi wants to cloud gaze with Guinevere? I mean, I suppose you could. I suppose. Maybe she feels like it's kind of dangerous and unsafe to be in the same room as Catalea. I feel like a part of Delphi would be fearful, so she wants to go out with, like, she wants to go outside with the champion because she feels a bit safer with the champion. So maybe that's what this is. And then nice, yeah, see, look, become friends with Guinevere. Why? Because as far as Delphi's concerned, Guinevere is like the safety net. She's the only person who she'll probably be safe behind. This is so sad. This is so sad and crazy. Ah. Okay, I am going to go ahead and work on some of these friendships, and then if something a bit more exciting is happening... Oh, wait, hold on. Get to know Lady Guinevere. Lucille, are you finally wanting to, like, chat up Guinevere a little bit more? Small talk, get to know, chat with Guinevere. Chat with Guinevere. But their romance is, like, nil right now. Because Lucille knows that Guinevere is probably not ready to pursue anything. And I feel like she doesn't want to push it because when it comes to Lucille and Guinevere, she would want something genuine with her. And something, you know, serious on both ends. I don't think she treats Guinevere as just a casual, like, flirt. Like she does with everyone else. I don't think she does with Guinevere, so it's... She doesn't want to push it. Definitely doesn't want to push it. But okay, I'm going to work on these friendships, and then we'll check back in really quickly afterwards. While our princesses were busy doing their homework down here in the classroom, I suppose, we had some very interesting whims, one of which shocked me completely, and it was with one of the three ladies involved in the love scandal. So, who had this whim exactly? It was none other than Princess Eve, guys. She had, or has, the whim to get engaged to Lady Catalea, her stepmother. Which boggles my mind, and I'm trying to figure out why this may be. So, basically, like right now, the people who know about this affair, excluding Delphi, obviously Catalea herself, Eve, and Eden, they are aware of the situation they're in, no doubt, but Eden hasn't addressed it yet because she's still trying to figure out what the heck to do about it. Eve, she's like, her anger has cooled down, and she's kind of decided that Catalea at this point, like the both of them, the situation they're in is so severe that there has to be a terrible punishment that follows, and if the queen had to choose between her blood and her love, she would choose her blood. She would choose her daughter over Catalea because Eve is a princess, and then also Eve has a special identity of having, you know, two royal parents. So if the queen does anything to Eve, not only is she, you know, destroying her own child, she's also going to suffer the wrath of the visitants because they consider kind of Eve their... I wouldn't say leader, but they consider Eve like their hope in their future, right? The future of their race and their people in the Salizar Empire. And she, you know, is the successor of their prince. So, yeah, she does have a special identity for sure. So, in Eve's mind, she's thinking that means Catalea is the one who's going to be punished, and if nothing is done to Eve, Catalea has to face a punishment as severe as death. But she doesn't want that to be the case because she feels like Catalea will become a wasted resource. And from how long it's taking like Eden to work things out, she knows that Catalea has a certain hold over Eden, and she is like a powerful tool to manipulate Eden's emotions, right? We also know that Eve, she's quite brazen with certain matters. She's also a princess that is not afraid of tradition. She is very calculative, but also she sets a lot of precedents, right? Taboo does not exist to her, I feel. There is no taboo. There is only the ability to destroy and overcome taboos. She doesn't really care much or give much stock to those kind of things. And as such, she doesn't have boundaries, right? She's someone without boundaries. She doesn't set them. She doesn't care for them. Her own thoughts and feelings matter more, and what she wants to do is like a more appropriate guideline in her mind for the way things should be. So she is going to, like, she's made up her mind at this point. It's almost like, the queen and everyone, well, not everyone, the other coven members don't know because this is so scandalous and dangerous, but she's aware at this point that her soul is pretty much bared to Eden and, to Catalea. They've both seen this side of her. There's no point hiding it anymore, really. There's no point. So she's going to be really brazen. She's going to go to Eden and... Hold on a second. Kyra, I don't know why you're weeping, child, but you're going to have to excuse yourself, honey. Guinevere, you are also going to have to excuse yourself, because Eve is going to come to her mother and she is going to beg her mother to let go of Catalea so that she can marry Catalea. She does not care what her mother thinks at this point. In Eve's mind, this is the only way to save Catalea and keep Catalea by her side, right? But she's gonna tell her mother that it will be a secret marriage and a secret relationship. As far as everyone else is concerned, the queen, for whatever reason, has had a clean break with Catalea, and, she'll be free to pursue her other romantic interests if she wants. This is like dirty laundry here, right here. But yeah, she'll be free. The queen will be free to pursue her own interests. She'll be the only one who knows about this secret marriage between Catalea and Eve. But Eve is saying, let me have her. I want her. Let me have her. Nobody else will know about it. We'll keep it secret. As far as everyone else is concerned, we do not have any relationship other than being colleagues. Kyra, now's not the time, honey. Now's not the time. You need to step out. This is a private conversation. Kyra? Okay, well, Kyra's over here. She's walked in on their conversation. We also have to know that this isn't something that the queen would take to her council members, but it is it's not something the queen would take to her council members, obviously. I feel like she's quite clear on probably what must be done, because that's the whole reason. She's not taking it to the council members. They'll probably tell her to do the right thing and, punish both the princess and Catalea, which the queen doesn't want. But right now, when she's having this conversation with Eve, and, Eve is pleading for the queen to let go of Catalea so Eve can marry her, Kyra walks in. And we know that Kyra is part of the queen's council. So I feel as though Kyra may just take this to Guinevere and actually bring up the fact that there has been something going on they were not aware of. And now that they are, they should probably pitch in and advise the queen about what needs to happen. because this kind of affects the whole dynamic of the coven, and it is dangerous to leave unattended. So I think we're gonna wrap up there, guys. I don't know the future for what's going to happen. Like, I had plans, and those plans have been destroyed by whims. So we're gonna have to see how everyone does and how they adjust to what's going on. But okay, guys, I'm gonna leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.